Welcome back, and we're joined by Arpit Beriwal of Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Kunal, of course, continues to be with us. Arpit, very quickly, let me come to you with regard to the market. Give us the sense of what or how you're seeing the index. Very tight range today, by the way.
Good afternoon to all. So if you see from past few days, Nifty is trading in a very consolidated range, in a range of 200 points. Within that, we have seen whipsaws. But if I look at the weekly setup, so definitely index again stuck in a range. However, if you see from the weekly setup, it finally gave a consolidation breakout above 24,500 levels. And the good part is that it is holding above the same after almost 7 to 8 weeks. So definitely the base of the market is shifting higher. On the immediate basis, Nifty major support is around 24,500, 24,444 levels. Whereas on the upside, a major breakout will be seen above closing above 24,700 levels on the spot levels for 25,000, 25,250 plus levels. So 24,700 is a major level to watch out for on closing basis, but overall buy and dip stands till Nifty holds above 24,500 levels. If we talk about Bank Nifty, so Bank Nifty structure is relatively in last few days consolidated, but today it is relatively outperforming, mainly due to ahead of its SBI result that is due tomorrow. So looking from a weekly perspective, Bank Nifty also ranges between 57,500 to 58,500 levels. Overall buy and dip counter, buy and dip stance in Bank Nifty also till it holds above 57,750 for an upside move towards 58,250, 58,500 levels.
Okay. Arpit's sector tilt.
So if we see selective sectors outperforming, and if I look at the chart structure of defense, pharma, NBFCs, they're relatively outperforming. So we would first stick with the NBFC sector. So NBFC sector is on a roll, whether it talks about stocks such as Bajaj Finance, Shriram Finance, Chola, AB Cap, they are trending very strong, holding on strong on all time frame. So within that first pick would be AB Capital. If we see chart structure of AB Capital, very strong setup on the monthly time frame. Weekly scale, a fresh range breakout after 4 weeks above 410 levels. Daily scale consolidating, but looking at the setup wise, the stock looks good to hit to new life high territories towards 450 levels. So AB Cap would be a first pick. Second, if we see from the pharma space, so pharma is an overall structural uptrend. Some cool off was seen in last few days, but the bigger trend is still positive. And within that, if you look at the structure of Sun Pharma, so Sun Pharma also the setup is very strong on the monthly time frame. Range breakout above 1920 levels. On the daily scale, some cool off was seen, but again it's back to its major support zone. So risk reward looks good towards 2050, 2100 levels positionally. So Sun Pharma and AB Cap looks good for positional setup for 7 to 8% upside move in next couple of weeks.
Well, the more secular trend today is in with defense, and there's no classification as to whether defense, the manufacturers or the shipbuilding names, they're holding out. It's an across the board move that you're seeing. Mazagon now holding up over 6%. HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics, has been higher by 6%. Cochin Shipyard higher by 5%. BDL up 4.5%. And the big one, BEL as well, has been quite the mover from the word go. A solid 2.6% move on BEL as well. Arpit, any trading opportunities? Quite a few breakouts within the entire defense umbrella.
Definitely, if you see the bigger trend of the index was strong, and today we have seen very sharp move across the space. So if you look from the chart structure, HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics, was consolidating from last couple of weeks. Today finally gave a good range breakout, surpassing short-term moving averages, a range breakout above 4,400, 4,500 levels plus levels. So looking from a setup wise, I think HAL will be outperform a year forward, can definitely head towards 5,200, 5,500 positionally. Along with that, if we see second is a reversal play, that will be BEL, Bharat Electronics. So Bharat Electronics is underperforming for last couple of weeks, but if we see the weekly setup, so good reversal is seen on the major time frame from its major support levels. So from here on, definitely the 410, 415 levels can be seen onto. So HL would be a trending counter for new life high territories. BEL from a reversal play can head towards 415, 420 levels in next couple of days to week time frame.
Kunal, are you also scouting some defense opportunities, stocks to trade?
Yeah, sure. So I think at current levels, HCL is something which I'll concentrate on. I think it's been one of the better movers, relatively strong, not just on an intraday basis, but I think comparatively over the last 2 or 3 months, HCL has been one of the very few defense names which is perched at a multi-month breakout as compared to many of the other defense stocks which are still languishing at the previous swing lows. Of course, these stocks have lifted off after today's up move, but then comparatively, I think HCL is far stronger. I would look at HAL as a strong bet at the current levels. I think 5,250 could be a modest target which one could look at in the near term.
You know, Arpit, the other sector which has been absolutely abuzz today has been the PSU banking counters. You've seen a 2% or 200-point uptick from the bottom of the day on the PSU banking index itself. How are you looking at this? Any trend change that you're seeing on charts?
Time frame structure of PSU index, so it has been stuck in a broader range. And definitely when we see, whenever the result season is out, we see a stock specific action, and particularly SBI result is due tomorrow. So ahead of that, definitely good momentum is seen across the PSU space. And with like that, we like to stick with the heavyweight, that would be SBI. So SBI, if we see from a monthly setup wise, definitely good reversal has been seen. On the weekly setup, it is given a range breakout after almost 7 weeks above 1060 levels. So from a risk reward perspective, definitely we can see outperformance year on. The stock can slowly steadily can head towards 1130 levels. So SBI would be a first pick within the PSU space that looks good. Along with that, second would be Indian Bank. So Indian Bank used to be in a secular uptrend. Post that, it has entered into a corrective phase. But looking at the weekly setup wise, the stock is again on the range of its major breakout above 888 levels. So I think that once it closes above 880 levels, definitely the stock can head towards 920, 940 levels. So Indian Bank and SBI looks good within the PSU basket space for next couple of days, 2 weeks time frame.
Okay. And Arpit, what's the view on Reliance Industries?
So Reliance, after a very long time, we have seen 3.5%, 4% gains on daily basis. So that is coming after a very, very long time. Looking at the monthly setup, still in trading in a range. On the weekly setup, the level that we're watching out is 1345, 1350 levels. Once it closes above that levels, definitely short-term bottom would be in place. So 1345 to 1350 is a major level to watch out for. Once it closes above that, we can see momentum towards 1400 levels. But till that time, the stock is still in a range between 1290 to 1350 levels.
Okay, that's that on Reliance. Quite a solid move. Sona Comstar, though, is taking a breather today. That's down 3.25% as we speak. Amongst the frontliners, even the metals rally seems to have paused at least for a day. Kunal, will this dip in metals be a buying opportunity? Hindalco, Tata Steel, all of them?
It looks like, because I think we are still looking at a point where metals, auto, I think apparently are the two stronger sectors. In the last few weeks, you've seen a good blend of short covering for many of these. For many of the stocks within this space, I would still believe that I think the sector looks quite strong. In fact, Hindalco down 1.5%. When you try and look at this in the context of the last 5-6 days of rally, JSW Steel ebbing off a little bit, I think coming back to the 1300 levels. Tata Steel, I think in midpoint, the stock was back again to 192, 193 levels, and it's now ebbed off. But I think all these 3-4 names on the metal stocks looks attractive. I would look at this step as a good buying opportunity.
Okay.